Enthronement is reversible, but we are yet to decide on redress. Sanusi's lawyer spoke. The removal of the Muhammadu Sanusi II as Emir of Kano is reversible in the court of law, says that one of his senior lawyers, Abubakar Muhammad. Sanusi was unanimously dethroned on Monday by the Kano state government led by Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, who immediately announced a replacement for the former governor of Central Bank. Sanusi's lawyer said on Monday evening that the removal was not surprising but most embarrassing, given that Sanusi was not given any fair hearing just as due process was not observed in the matter. Muhammadu, who spoke via a telephone interview on Channels Television mentioned by the Punch, said though Sanusi was yet to make a decision whether to change or to challenge his removal in court or not, but had he decided to seek redress, the decision of the Kano state government would be reversed. He said that he has been obviously in various legal tussles with the state government of Kano over the last 2 to 3 years. So this did not come to us as a surprise. We were so much embarrassed at the manner in which it was done without giving him any fair hearing or observing any due process. However, the government has announced its decision dethroning him, and he was this evening, Monday, taken into custody and flown to Abuja. We are going to be in touch with him to discuss which line of action to take as his lawyers. And we, as lawyers, of course, we believe that this action was illegal and unconstitutional. And more so, the aspect of banishment under the Constitution. Nobody can be deprived of his liberty under the manner he has been deprived of his. Nevertheless, he will be in touch with him and hopefully come up with the next line of actions in due course. The next line of action would obviously depend on the instruction from the emir. These are aspects that the dethronement and banishment that Sanusi had will be instructed and dependent on or from the emir. We will be consulting him. I had a meeting with him before. He was taken to custody, and obviously at that point he has not taken a decision on whether he is going to pursue this matter in court or not. Of course, we will give him time to come up with a decision on his dethronement. But as far as his liberty is concerned, we are very firmly clear that the line of actions that will be taken is illegal actions, and we will be considering what line of actions to take hopefully today on Tuesday when I speak to him. An action that is illegal can be reversed by the court of law, and that is why we have the written constitution and courts in place. Under the constitution of the country, whenever the executive branch of government takes an action that is unconstitutional or illegal, the courts are there for all citizens to seek redress. We are confident, given the fact of this case, that if the emir was to challenge the action, it will be reversed because the action, in our view, is repressing and illegal. Wow. What are we to say concerning this? Are you sure this can be reversed? The court has made a final decision, and I think that decision is final. But if the lawyer thinks that this can be reversed, then let's watch and see if possible. If that is going to be possible, that is it. If it's going to be possible, according to what his lawyer said, he said that the removal was not surprising, but was embarrassing given that Sanusi was not given any fair hearing, was not informed before he was before they decided to remove him, dethrone him as the emir of Kano. He was not. They did not give him any hearing as a due process. So since he was not given any hearing, so this can be reversed. His dethronement can be reversed. That is what this Sanusi lawyer is trying to tell us. He's trying to support Sanusi. So with this, immediately he was being dethroned. He quickly moved and traveled out of the states to Abuja. He also said that he was in various legal issues with the state government of Kano over the last 2 years, 3 years. They have been smiling with him without no complaints. So this is so surprising to him that so these people they knew what has been happening and they refused to let him know. All of a sudden, he was just removed as he was just dethroned as the emir of Kano State. That they were so embarrassed when the announcement took place that the government announced their decision enthronement on Sanusi, and they took into custody of what he has done or what he did, which is so embarrassing and surprising to Sanusi. That is the reason why Sanusi had to flew immediately to Abuja because of the embarrassment. But now the lawyer is trying to say something, support him, talk on his behalf, that this should be reversed because he was not aware of this dethronement before it was announced by the court. So the decision of dethronement shouldn't have taken place. They should have informed him before he is being dethroned, before they dethrone him and replace someone else. They immediately replace someone else after he was announced dethroned by the court. He said they dethroned and banished him immediately. That is it. Why would they dethrone and banish him? That is why the lawyer is trying to support him, to talk on his behalf. The person they are talking on his behalf has traveled. They traveled immediately to Abuja from Kano State. The next line of actions now is that is that obviously depend. Their action they obviously depend on the instruction from the emir. Because there are two aspects to it: the dethronement and the banishment. They would have, according to what the lawyer said, they would have dethroned him and not banish him. That means he can never come into that state again. But that's what the meaning of banishment. What would be his offense that will make them to dethrone and banish him? We don't know yet. But they kept supporting him. His lawyers, he knows what he did. That is why immediately they dethroned him. He flew immediately to Abuja. He knew the offense that he committed. That is why he flew. So now they say they will be consulting with him. They will be consulting with him because they had a meeting with him before he was taken to custody. And obviously at that point, he has not taken a decision on whether he is going to pursue this matter in court or not, because he knows what he did. He knows the crime he has committed. That is why he is not saying anything about it. That's why he's not saying or he's not making any decision on whether he is to pursue this case or not in the courts. Immediately they dethroned him, he traveled immediately. So he knew what he did. He knew that he has committed a crime that can never be possible for this dethronement to be reversed or this banishment to be reversed. So, viewers, what do you think about this? If you have any comment or any contributions, drop them below the comment box. Click on the subscription button and also click on the bell button to receive notifications whenever I publish any new video. And don't forget to click on the like